Good morning, and this is going to be a challenge for employers. As students lean more into AI, researchers say its implementation may actually harm learning and critical thinking skills. That research paper from UC Berkeley looked at more than 500,000 grades from 2018 through 2025 at an unnamed large public university in Texas. Researchers compared courses with more AI-exposed tasks to courses with less exposure. After ChatGPT was released in 2022, the share of A grades in classes with more writing and coding jumped by 30%. So what does this mean for employers hiring out of college? Simply put, a student's GPA is becoming a less reliable indicator of their true academic acumen. This is why you are seeing both schools and employers react. Harvard faculty are voting this week on a proposal to cap solid A grades at 20%, plus 4 additional A's per class. The National Association of Colleges and Employers says 70% of employers in its 2026 survey are using skills-based hiring for entry-level jobs, and only 42% are still using students' GPA as a screening tool. Yale University's April report on trust in higher education highlighted how the technologies of the 21st century have transformed teaching, research, and learning. It pointed out that grades no longer seem trustworthy.
That's troubling. Joining us now, Paul Powers, cybersecurity expert and CEO of Physna Technology. Good morning and welcome to you. I was just talking to some friends and colleagues recently about the 90s and how much I miss them. We didn't have these worries in the 90s when it came to education. We had other things that we were concerned about, but AI is here. So what are you observing when it comes to AI and the challenges in the classroom?
Well, first of all, this isn't going away. This is going to get worse. And unfortunately, completely discouraging the use of AI by students is actually going to backfire. It's actually imperative that students master AI to prepare to enter the workforce. But at the same time, you're right. I mean, critical thinking and actual learning is critical for brain development and cognitive competence. And there's going to be a growing need to teach students basic human-to-human interaction because we're interacting more and more with AI directly, and we're losing some of those people skills and such as conflict management. So I do think there's a way to make them both work in harmony. Grades were never really all that effective in the American system as a way for employers to evaluate students anyway, because every university grades people differently. So if everyone in the class gets an A, what's an A mean? I think there are a couple of things that we can do to solve this. First, I think that the model you see in some places in Europe where it's comparative, it's percentile based. So in other words, how do you rank in your class matters more so than how accurate your results are. I think that that's starting to make more and more sense as we get deeper and deeper into this age of AI. For that to work, you need to take special precautions. But I went to university after Harvard, I went to Germany, and there we were assigned numbers. And the number you were given was how you signed every exam, so that people grading your exam had no idea who they were grading. I think that's important. Something like that would be important to prevent prejudice and favoritism. I think the other thing is when you take exams, to do so in an environment where there is absolutely no access to the internet, so that you can have like a Faraday cage type room where there's no cell signal, there's no Wi-Fi signal. Don't assume that turning in your cell phone is going to be enough, because ultimately, wearables are going to advance faster than school policy will. I think that it's still critical that humans actually have learned things, not necessarily that they know how to do all the same things that AI is going to ultimately be doing in the future, but that we evaluate things a bit differently, that we evaluate both their ability to work with AI, maybe if they're at home doing an assignment, where we actually want to encourage them to use the latest AI tools, which I think should be included with your tuition. You're already paying an exorbitant amount for your tuition anyway. Arguably, it's becoming a bubble. And I think part of that tuition needs to cover the latest and greatest AI tools so that it's fair and all students have access to these capabilities and know how to use them entering the workforce. And I think also it's worth mentioning that another thing that we're going to have to evaluate, and that employers ultimately really do need to care about, especially in the near future, it's going to become a bigger issue, is how well can students work with each other, right? So not just how do they do on traditional exams, but how do they collaborate? And maybe in those environments where they're, in the classroom or in the exam room, where there is no access to the internet, there is no access to Wi-Fi, there's no way for them to use anything technical. They have to rely on raw brain power, that they can collaborate with each other, and evaluating their ability to do so and even grading them on their ability to do so, I think is going to be really important, because in the workplace, that's a skill that is going to be extremely important and something that even today we don't really measure very effectively.
Right. And evaluating social skills, that's all part of this, that you don't immediately turn to AI or technology, that you have to have a conversation with someone to solve a problem. All good points. Paul, you're right. It's here to stay, but it's not too late to navigate these waters responsibly as we move forward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.